Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to BRL Tier 4 around China. We just finished our Tier 3 race. It was very good. I would recommend to watch. My co-commentator in the booth, Fada, won the race. Woo. Very happy. And yeah, we're loading into qualifying. And Fada, can you just confirm, can you include audio or is it still glitched? Okay, that is actually extremely unfortunate. So it looks like maybe we are having party issues once again. In the words of Fada, we are having more technical difficulties, so we apologize. Yeah, we're loading into qualifying, we're seeing what these drivers can do around China. We saw very exciting racing last week at Vietnam where Silk the Madman was able to take, mediums far too long, and he was able to pull it off. See if he can do it again around China, which is actually known to be heavy on tire wear. I doubt that he can take mediums anywhere near 20 laps once again, but we're gonna have to wait and see. See our first cars go out on track. I believe Ronnie is going to be, actually it's both of the Haas drivers, Ronnie and Willica, out on their laps. We're going to have to see what bankers they can set, and we're going to have to also see if the drivers behind them can set faster laps or match them. All dependent on the pace. Fada, even though I don't think he is being heard, the pole time for Tier 3 was a 29.6 set by the man himself, Fada. Absolute GOAT. Yeah. So we see a lot of drivers actually out on track. Real quick, Fada, even though I can hear you, but even though most people can't hear you, what are your predictions coming into qualifying? Yeah. I said qualifying, not race. Okay. Alright, so thank you, Fada. So we are having a prediction of a McLaren 1-2 as we see both Haas and Renault drivers out right next to each other, which is very odd. They're all very scrambled, as Willica will be our first driver to set a lap as he comes across the final corner, doesn't invalidate. See what he can do. Driver behind him will be his teammate OMG Ronnie, and also it is going to be the Renault drivers of Groggy and Adam. Let's ride on board with Willica and just show us what he can do around the track. So very nice lines. It's a very stable lap, it looks like. There's not too many mistakes being made by the Haas driver coming out of Sector 2. Little bit of a wiggle on the exit. Coming into what is, I believe, or what was at one point the longest straight on the calendar. Got to take a very nice, careful line out of this little snail section to make sure he doesn't spin the car out. Down to the straightaway he goes with 2 corners left. Let's see what lap time. Very nice exit out of the hairpin. Coming into the penultimate corner. Is he going to keep it nice and tidy? It looks like he is. That was a very good line, and our banker lap is going to be a 1:39 flat. Is his teammate going to be able to do anything about it? And yes, he is actually. I know. 31-0. They're both very close to each other. Who's next? Groggy. A little bit off the pace. His teammate Adam. I don't know if he was able to set a lap. He invalidated, I presume. Yes, he did. Titan the McLaren up to P4. Dark Guy sets a 30 flaps, very quick for a banker lap. He is currently a second ahead of Ronnie. Caesar also sets a very nice lap, a 1:31.8. It is what you would expect to see of a banker, and there can be definite improvements made. Wi-Fi winner into P5 with a 32 flat. We also have two drivers, it looks like, we're going to go out on mediums. So it's going to be interesting how strategy is going to play out for this race, as the medium hard is the preferred strategy. Mitchie invalidates his lap. Unfortunately, his teammate Mitch, I don't think he's going to be the next. Yes, he is. He is going to be the next one to cross the line on a flyer. Let's see what lap time he can set. If he can go anywhere above or beyond what has been set by our pace leader. Dark Ice, as Ron Swanson goes up to P2, 30.5, as we have two drivers now into the 30s. Mitch, 33.1. Could be a lot of improvements made before the end of the session, but that is a very nice banker, as we have the other Racing Point, I almost said Force India, into the second sector. Let's see if he can match the pace of his teammate in the other Racing Point. ER10 in the Williams, I think might be next to cross the line to set a lap. He's coming out of the snail section. Make sure he doesn't lose the rear end of the car to lose any time onto the straight. He's gonna have to use all of the power, and if he's running a low downforce setup, it's gonna be very advantageous to not just him but any drivers who decide that they do not want any drag. Coming into the hairpin. And as Feta is noting in the Drivers' Championship, we can say Adam in P10 as ER10 goes up to P3. Adam is second in the Drivers, who is right behind Silk, having had very great first two rounds, winning at Bahrain after an unfortunate puncture from then race leader Sack the Beast, and just absolutely pulling off a maniacal strategy around Vietnam to secure the victory. We have more drivers setting lap times, I believe. Everything looks about the same. BRL Air up to P6. He set a 31.3, pretty solid lap time. There should be some improvements that could be made, especially as the track goes on to get quicker. We have Broken Reptile on the mediums beginning a lap. It's going to be interesting if he decides to go for the medium strategy, as he can definitely have a bit of pace, as the softs tend to die out rather quickly around this track. As Sack the Beast, I don't know if it's accurate, but he sets a purple sector 2 a bit on the curb on the exit. Might slow him down a bit, and there's a car in front of him. He could get a cheeky slipstream, but I believe he's too far. Yeah. Yeah, this Feta is pointing out, still unfortunate that you guys cannot hear him. He's being extremely helpful. Sack is on a new wheel and he is having to get adjusted. However, he still goes on and sets the pace with a 30.4, right ahead of his teammate Ron Swanson by a 10th, and right behind Dark Ice Racer, who is our current pace leader with a 30 flat. Do we have any other drivers? It looks like there is a McLaren of Broken Reptile on the mediums as well. Actually, no, I think I already covered it. He was on the mediums, my bad. He's coming to the penultimate or the final corner. Make sure he doesn't run too wide and invalidate, take just enough of the curb. What's he going to be able to set? A P8 with a 31.6. Pretty good lap on the mediums. Anyone else going to be able to set a lap? I believe those are the Haas drivers on outlaps coming into their flying laps. As Feta is pointing out, Adam is the next car to cross the line. I don't know if he's still going for a fast lap because he's on 3-lap-old softs. I'm pretty sure he's going to go into the pits. Yes, he is. Dark Ice is going to be the next one to go start his flying lap. See what time he can do. Silk is on a lap into the hairpin. He's made a very nice exit. Can he take the final corner just enough so he can get as much speed and carry as much time through there as possible? Let's find out. Silk, our new post, or provisional pole sitter with a 29.8. Yeah, these drivers are getting quicker and quicker as time progresses. The 29 is very, very quick, and it is, or Silk's current lap is a couple tenths away from Tier 3's pole of a 29.6. So Feta, yeah, so basically this might be the second time if Silk is able to beat it, or if any drivers are able to beat it, that a Tier 4 driver has beaten Tier 3 driver or any higher up tier. It's very interesting as Dark Ice gets a bit of a wiggle coming out of the little... Actually, I do not know any corner names, so excuse me on that. I am not as smart as I seem, which I don't seem very smart. And he decided to back out of the lap because that wiggle cost him time. I don't know who's next across the line. It is going to be the Haas pairing. Ronnie's going to be the first one to go across. Is he going to be able to improve? I don't think he was. And if he was, it was a very minimal improvement. Willica, however, will improve into a 30.6. Another driver into the 30s. I think that is Dark Ice who's going to come across the line. However, he decided to back out because of his wiggle. It could be entered Caesar, but he's on 4-lap old tires, and I think he's pitting. So besides that, Ron Swanson is going to be our next driver in the Ferrari to come across the line. Is he going to be able to improve and try to fight for pole? Let's find out. Into the final corner, downshift very nicely. Looks like he got just the right amount of curb. Is he going to be able to improve? Yes, he is, a 30.2. These drivers are getting much closer now. I believe that is a Alpha Tower. Yes, it is on the mediums. However, he is on an outlap. Whiffy, as we caught him go across the line, 30.4 up to P5. Very good lap time set from him as he has the engine glitch. I'm going to try to get as far away from him as possible. The Williams is going to be next to be in the final sector. However, he is on 4 laps. Very much amount of laps. I believe that is a McLaren. Titan is on an in-lap apparently. It says that he's on 0-lap old tire, so he could be. He's not using any ERS though, so we're going to have to find out. He is not going to go into pits. He is going to start his lap, I think. He did use a bit of ERS, so it's weird to see. The Haas duo are going to both have to come into the pits, I believe, because if you try to set 2 laps on soft, your tires are going to be dead at the beginning, and you definitely don't want that as one of them goes across the line. I believe that was Ronnie. Yeah, Ronnie's trying to improve on 2 laps. Let's see who is the next car to cross the line. ER10 coming out of the hairpin. He has backed out of his lap. That is a Racing Point of BRL Air, teammate of Dark Ice, who set our provisional pace. He is now P2. Air P9. Can he improve? Can he match his teammate's time? And can he try to go as far up the field as possible? Out of the final corner, decides to avoid the curb, it looked like, to get a better run. And he does improve up to P6 with a 30.7. Almost all of our drivers are now into the 30s. Next car to cross the line is going to be Michi, as he takes what looks like a pretty slow final corner up to P10 on the mediums. Pretty good lap on the mediums, to be fair. Whiffy, I believe, is going to come into the pits. Yes, he is, because he has invalidated. That is a McLaren, who is also going to come into the pits, I presume, because he's on old tires. Although he is using ERS, so he could be trying to improve here. Let's find out if he comes into the pits or not. As I also believe doing 2 laps in qualifying on medium sets is going to waste the tires a bit, as he invalidates on the final corner and he does not improve. I believe that is Ronnie, the Haas. He's not going to be able to improve. Ronnie and Adam are set to start their laps. They're going to try to go for the mediums. Let's see if they can set the pace and go on to the alternate strategy, which is the preferred strategy considering there are no safety cars. See, do we have any other drivers out on laps? I believe Michi could be out on a lap. He's not using any ERS, and I think that when you don't use ERS across a long straight, you're going to come back into the pits because it's not viable to lose such time down the back straight, especially considering how long it is. Michi, he was the one that I was talking to, said not to use the ERS fader. Yeah, it's alright. It's alright. Titan invalidates. He's gonna want to come into the pits, I believe. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's gonna have just enough time to make it back. It's gonna be very interesting to see as now we focus back on the Renault duo, trying both of them actually trying the medium strategy, seeing what they can do. Little bit of grass taken there. You can see the dirt kicked up afterwards. I don't know if that's gonna make them quicker. It could be. They could be using different strategies or tactics that I have no idea what they are about. They could also not be. As you see, they're trying to get a little bit of slipstream off of the Haas driver ahead. Is Groggy going to try to as well? No, he is not. He decides to not follow in his teammate's path into the hairpin. Both of them go to see how well of an exit they can get into the hairpin, or out of the hairpin, my bad, into the final corner. They can't run wide, or they risk invalidating and be the end of qualifying potentially. Cross the line, what is he going to be able to do? P14 for Adam and P13 for Groggy. So I believe that their risk has not paid off as they are outside of the top 10. Or in fact, they could choose to start on the hard compound tires as well. Could be another alternate strategy. Our next driver to set a lap time, I believe, is going to be ER10, who's just coming out, or who's in the middle of Sector 2. There is a Mercedes who's going to begin their lap. There was a yellow flag for him there, the hairpin. Actually, there's a lot of traffic ahead of ER10. They better get out of the way to not impede ER10's lap. As, yeah, they respectfully move out of the way to make sure that ER10 can set the best lap. Very respectful maneuver, and it is to be expected of our drivers. Behind ER10, as Feta is very excited to see Silk the GOAT, who stole the crown from Groggy in Feta's eyes as the GOAT. ER10 going to open up the DRS. Yes, he is. Feta's crying in shame. It's very sad. Into the braking zone. Very nice, tidy braking. Little bit of a lockup out of the hairpin. Little bit of a wiggle. He's still trying to keep as much power down as possible into the final corner. Can he be able to? Yes, he does. How does ER10 improve? Actually, he does not. Never mind. Behind him, I am lost in all of the drivers. Whiffy is going to start a lap. I believe that is Ferrari. Yes, it is. It is Ron Swanson, or not Ron Swanson. Sack the Beast, my bad. Can he be on pole to fight to Silk? Let's find out. The DRS is open. Ooh, it looks like he was very close. It's very close. Oh, exactly 1/10 off according to Feta. I believe that is Chunky. That is Chunky. He's coming into the final corner. He's out of ERS. Can he keep it nice and tidy on the medium? So he's also going to be trying this strategy. Can he make it work up to P12? No, he can't. Who are our next drivers to cross the line? That is going to be Silk, our current pole sitter. He's going to try to improve and set the fast lap. I believe that is a McLaren duo, or is that a Racing Point? That is not a Racing Point. It is a McLaren duo. They're not going to start their lap, or they're gonna start their laps. Excuse me, I am completely lost right now. I believe that is Ronnie, yeah, coming out of the hairpin with Ron Swanson following. What can these two drivers do? Very nice final corner. Ronnie, is he gonna improve? It looks like he is not, as Ron Swanson aborts his lap and crashes in the pit lane. Dark Ice on the final corner. Can he take the fight to Silk and reclaim his pole position? Yes, he can. 29.8. Very, very rapid time. So now we're going to have to focus on other drivers as they come to finish their laps. I don't think Willika's going to improve. We have Random who has joined. Very unfortunate. I don't know who's the other drivers on laps. Silk is on a lap, actually. Let's focus on him. Can he take the fight to Dark Ice and reclaim his pole position? He's gonna definitely want to. He's set up purple sector 2 and he spins. Feta is shouting in absolute pain as he sees Silk the GOAT spin out. That is the very dangerous part of that slow snail section, that you can spin it out. If you go too far on the throttle, it is gonna be McLaren next to go and set a lap coming out of the hairpin. Can he improve? He is currently in P12. See, into the final corner, he does not invalidate as we see drivers retired in the pits. Broken Reptile, very good up to P5. His teammate right behind him. Can he improve? McLaren had a very strong weekend out last time in Vietnam, tightened up to P4. McLaren absolutely doing well this time. Mitchie in the AlphaTauri. Can he improve? He is missing a wing, so he is not going to. He decided to still stay out on track. I believe that is the end of qualifying. Dark Ice takes pole position by a very slim margin, with Sack the Beast right behind. Yeah, very tight qualifying session. It's definitely interesting as we see our top two duke it out, set the fastest lap. Yeah, as Feta is going over Dark Ice's last two rounds, Dark Ice has shown very strong qualifying pace, and Feta noted that he would be 4th in the Tier 3 grid with this lap time, so that is very impressive indeed. However, there have been some circumstances in the race that have not allowed him to build off of his strong qualifying. I think we're waiting on Oxygen Thief. I have no idea who this is. He is in a Red Bull. If he's a driver, I apologize, but as of now, I don't know who he is. We just wait patiently as the session actually ends. We don't even get to see anything else. We just ran out of time. As Fader notes that with the addition of Kimi and Antonio in the standings, none of the Alfa Romeo drivers have shown up this weekend, and we've actually hit the timer and qualified and nothing has happened. This is odd. I don't think I recall anything like this happening, off at the top of my head at least. So now we're just gonna have to sit here and hope that the game can correct itself and hopefully start the race out. Speaking of that, as Oxygen Thief has left the session, I believe he might have been the cause of the prolonged wait, but it is done with now. So we see our starting grid for the race. Dark Ice starts on pole with a 29.8, being pursued very tightly being pursued by Silk in the Mercedes with a 29.8 as well. Just less than a tenth separating both drivers. Sack the Beast in P3 with a 29.9, and Titan in the McLaren, building off of a strong weekend in Vietnam. They're hoping to get more constructors points in P4. Ron Swanson, the other Ferrari, right separated by the McLaren, as there's actually a Ferrari McLaren sandwich going on in the second and third row. Broken Reptile in the McLaren, 30.2, very good lap time. Wi-Fi winner P7 in the Red Bull. Willica P8 in the Haas, and Error P9 in the Racing. And I could not get to the rest because I have a very short memory and I completely forgot who qualified where. So yes, pain indeed. So we now wait for the drivers to select their preferred strategies. I believe most of the drivers in the top 10, if not all of them, are going to be starting on the soft compound tire. So we're not seeing a mixed strategy like we did in Tier 3, where everyone except for the top 4 drivers started on softs, and that caused a variety of different strategies and led to a pretty close ending, although it was kind of spoiled by the 3 different safety cars. Yeah, as we see our drivers running up, and we're going to see the start of the formation lap. Fader, do you have anything to say that I should tell our audience? As Feta says very nicely indeed, that is going to be a hard battle for the top three, Dark Ice, Silk, and Sack after very close qualifying margins. Silk has been able to profit off of the last two races as he has won them both. Even though Sack the Beast are on Bahrain, he was supposed to get the lead, however, or he was on track to win the race and he had a puncture very late into the race. Dark Ice, as we mentioned earlier, has very strong qualifying performances, but he has yet to convert any of them into a strong race. Can this be his first win or a podium? We're gonna have to wait and see. So we go down the Beast once again, or down the list, my bad, I don't know why I said Beast. As we go down the list, we see Titan, the McLaren. The McLarens have had a very strong... Oh, Sack is out of the session. Feta, could you send him an invite? Yeah, he has left the session. Yeah, as Feta notes, BHRO Adam, he is second in the championship. He's gonna need to make up quite a lot of positions if he wants to keep contending. He is Feta. I don't recall how many points did you say he was behind? He is 30 points behind Silk, so he needs to do the best that he can to try to come back. Starting from P17, it's gonna be difficult, but I don't believe it is impossible. See our drivers line up on the grid. The AI has decided to take over for them. As now the job is going to be made more difficult by Sack because he has disconnected, and I don't know, I can't confirm, but I don't think his tires are going to be up to the optimal temperature. As we see our grid form up very nicely, we're going to go to the beginning of the race. Let's see what these drivers can do and if there's going to be any chaos. Alright, as we see 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go for the Chinese Grand Prix. Can Dark Ice get a good launch off of his pole position? Does not look like he is being contended into turn 1. He keeps it ahead of Silkweaver, the Mercedes. Titan and Ron are both going side by side, getting ahead of Sack the Beast, who was in AI because he left unfortunately. There's a little bit of contact between both drivers. That is a Haas of Willica going, they look like side by side, but that was, oh, he is going side by side with entered Caesar, the Williams driver. I believe he lost the position. Is he going to go for a dive? No, he's not, as we have a, I was going to say we have a Williams off the track, but we have BRL Error who made a dive on Willica and he made the move stick. ER10, unfortunate for him, he has been spun or has spun out. I can't confirm nor deny either one as we see the drivers go through the very tight section that is Sector 2 coming out of Sector 2. Are we going to have any battles? Yes, we have. We have Groggy and Chunky, and we have Sack and Ronnie. They're going side by side, 2 by 2. Mitchie is losing a position up ahead, and Sack the Beast, who is back in the lobby, is trying to contend, make up for his lost positions. Can he do anything, or he is being hounded by the medium driver? A little bit of contact between both drivers. Ronnie gets shoved out wide. Groggy's looking to benefit off of the bad run seen by the car ahead. He is not going to be able to go up the field. Whiffy is on the back of Ron, but there's not going to be much that he can do unless he decides to dive, which he does into the hairpin. Ron leaves him space, but he's not going to be able to get the run that he needs out of there. Caesar and Air are both still going side by side into the final corner. It's just not going to end well if they continue like this. They go side by side through the corner. Air goes off the track. I was pretty sure that's going to be a warning as we see the standings glitch out. It's not very good for keeping track of who's who. Let's go. They are all ghosted. Fate. They look like they are all out. As we're going to go to the top of the field because that's the only position I know where they are. Dark Ice still leading, even though the game says that it's Silk. Silk is behind Dark Ice. We have to wait a little bit for these gaps to go back to normal, as I believe they are starting to do so. Silk catching up a bit in the braking zone, but there's not much he's going to be able to do. Although he is being caught up by the McLaren driver of Titan. Titan looking to get past and secure more points and possibly get himself into the driver's fight as well. Do we have any other battles down the grid as it has fixed itself? But I think now it has fixed itself. Yes, it has. Our closest battle on track is going to be between Adam and Chunky, it looks like. I don't know if they're going to be able to make a move. They're both on the No, he's not going to be able to make a move up onto the lead. We see down the long straight as actually Air and Reptile got overtaken, it looked like, out of the snail section. There looks like he's understeering just a bit, and yes he is. He has wing damage, so there could have been a little bit of him and the Racing Point. Caesar's going to try to benefit off of that. He is not going to be able to, as Michi, I believe, also has wing damage. Confirmed. It looks like they're going side by side. Caesar is going up the inside of the injured McLaren. He's not going to, or he is going to be able to make the move stick. Williker, the Haas driver, is he going to be able to go past the McLaren driver? No, as the McLaren pits, it is a wise choice for him. Up the lead, is there any changes? Silk is still chasing down Dark Ice, though there's still a gap forming. 8/10, he's almost out of the DRS zone. Titan right behind the Mercedes driver, with Ron Swanson being caught up to by Whiffy Winner. We see a lot of, or two drivers actually. Michi, I do believe, did have wing damage as he goes and gets it repaired. AR10, who got spun out, unfortunately, at the beginning stages of the race. He's trying to make his way back, and he's able to get past two drivers, both of them who had pitted. I don't believe we're going to see any action on this section of the track, because if you decide to go side by side through here, you're going to get absolutely a lot of hatred for the dirty air and the side draft. So you see the Racing Point of Dark Ice lead the way in front of Silkweaver, who I believe is going to have DRS if you can keep it together into this next section. As it is lap 3, I do believe that DRS should be active by now. Yes, it is. So the top, is actually the one to watch is going to have to be Titan. He is all on the back of the Mercedes driver. Which one of them has more ERS to play with? I believe it is Titan. He has his wing open. He looks like he's going for a move. Is he going to go for a dive? He's going to have the speed. Silk goes defensive. Titan, is he going to try to go around the outside? He outbreaks the Mercedes. He's going to try to go for a switchback, get the superior traction. He's not going to be able to, as we see, I believe that is Groggy get overtaken. Oh, he is being overtaken by the Haas driver. Ronnie going side by side out of the hairpin. Who's going to have more traction? I believe that it is going to be the Haas driver. They're going side by side, and Ronnie just hits the side of him. They can't go side by side through there. Yeah, Ronnie now has wing damage. Ronnie has wing damage from trying to go side by side. He did not calculate the amount of space that Groggy had up the inside very accurately, and now he is missing a part of his wing. Groggy is going up the inside, but Ronnie just cuts him off completely. He is not going to leave him the space. That is it's a very risky move to make there. It could have caused a spin, as Ronnie's trying to defend hard, not going to lose his position even though he has wing damage. I believe that is some very dangerous driving, as we have a spinner. I believe that is ER10 once again. Yes, it is. He is on the grass, and he is trying to make his way back on track, as Silk has caught the back of Dark Ice a bit. Titan is losing the back of him. Whiffy is on the back of the Ferrari driver, Ron Swanson. Can he do anything to defend against the very long straight that is going to come up against or after these corners? Actually, Groggy and Ronnie are still going at it. Ronnie's suffering a lot from his wing damage. He has not lost the position, and he will not lose the position with Adam right behind them both. Let's go up back further on the field. Dark Ice has Silkweaver to deal with, as both Silk and Titan are going to have DRS. Silk is he's not using his battery. He has used a lot of his battery already. Is he going to go for a dive? No, he is not. Decides that it is not worth it. Dark Ice looks like he goes a bit defensive to make sure that he can't go there. Air or Whiffy and Ron, excuse me. They're going about it, as Adam is going on Ronnie. He's not going on Ronnie. It looks like Ronnie backed out of it. Don't know. Let's watch Ron and Whiffy. Whiffy was able to get ahead of Ron, as we have Death. We have Air, who is out of the race. I was able to catch that right there. This is going to have to be a safety car. He almost Giovinazzi'd it, I believe, in 2017. Is this going to be any safety car? It's not looking like it is going to be so far. There's still just a yellow flag in Sector 3, as Silk is still on the back of Dark Ice. He wants to get the lead back. There's actually no safety car so far, which is very odd. He is stricken just enough off the track, I guess, for the game to consider it not a safety car. As Feda is noting, the Renault driver, the Renault duo, has been able to make up a lot of positions. I believe he said 6 positions each, so that is very good driving from both of them. I believe that is a lot of teamwork for them not to have overtaken or spun each other. As we see onto the long straight, where most of the overtakes are made because DRS. Silk is going to have to try to make a move, as he is on the overtake button. Dark Ice, he's not going to have much to defend with, as he does not have the DRS, although he might have more ERS than Silkweaver. Is Silk gonna go for a move? He looks like he's too far back. He's gonna try to go around the outside. He outbreaks Dark Ice. There's not much that you can do around the outside except try for a switchback. Who's gonna get more traction? Dark Ice is gonna keep it ahead. As we see Sack and Entered Caesar, excuse me, they're going side by side out of the hairpin. Sack goes deep, Caesar keeps it tight. Sack is able to get more traction out of the hairpin. As we see Silk in the pits, lap 6 is gonna see if he's gonna try to go onto the hards. I think you can make it work from here, as Feta is trying to confirm he believes that he cannot make it, and that is who's that? That is Mitch, who has also spun. He pulled an Albon, it looks like, out of the final corner. He has a lot of gravel and a lot of heat on the tires. Yep. I have no idea what happened, and I wish I could have caught it. As we see Broken Reptile setting another fastest lap. He is absolutely flying on the medium tires as he gets past Mitch, who is still struggling on his medium tires. The tires are not going to be very good after that spin. Up ahead, Dark Ice is trying to take as much lead as he can in front of Titan, because Silk has pitted. He's not going to have much pressure to go to. Let's see if these drivers are going to try to pit this lap to counteract the massive undercut that Silk is going to try to gain, as Willica and Oxygen. I don't know who Oxygen is. I'm pretty sure that he's not a driver in the tier. I do not recall the name, as Dark Ice is on the final large straightaway. Let's see if he's in a pit, as I also see a pretty large train gathering coming out or coming into the snow section. I'm gonna keep my eyes on that. Fata, if you could also keep your eyes on that. As Dark Ice decides that he goes into the pits, so does Whiffy. Does Ron also go into the pits? Yes, he does. Entered Caesar also into the pits, as we see a lot of the soft runners go into the pits. Groggy and Adam, who are both on the medium tires, are doing very well for themselves. They're going to inherit the lead of the race after Titan, who has not pitted, decides to go into the pits. Here is where the alternate strategy is going to come into play. The mediums are going to have a lot of pace, as I actually forgot to turn on the tires, see who everyone pitted onto. There we go. So you see a lot of the drivers are trying to go into the one-stop. Fada, I believe you don't need to invite Oxygen back. I'm not sure if he's a driver in the tier. Let's watch the Dark Ice. Has he been jumped by Silk? Yes, he has. Silk is right behind his teammate Chunky on the older medium tires, which he started on. So Dark Ice, this is not what he wanted to see. He did not want to get over or undercut by the Mercedes driver. However, Silk is going to have to deal with a one lap older tires in the end, which could come back to haunt him, as tire wear is very, very difficult around China because of the long sweeping corners. We see both the Mercedes drivers. Is there going to be any team orders? I don't believe there is. Yes, there is actually, as Chunky is moving out of the way for his teammate. He does not want to hold them up. He wants them to have the best possible chance to fight for the lead of the race. Now, Dark Ice, he's going to try to get past the other Mercedes driver. Chunky should try to hold them up as much as he can to give his teammate the best opportunity at a race win. Is he going to do that? He's going to have the DRS on his teammate. Although, look at Dark Ice, he is on the overtake button. He wants to get past as quick as possible. He pulls to the right side. Is this going to make the move done? Is he going to outbrake? He's going to outbrake Chunky, and Chunky actually has wing damage, so that explains a lot of his pace, as we have a spinner in the snail section. I believe that is Mitchie once again, as Titan into the pits. I believe he's gonna lose a lot of time due to the undercut, as you can hear his car in the pits. How far behind is he gonna be? Both drivers, we cannot tell, just because of the fact that the camera didn't show as well. So now we see both of our provisional leaders try to battle each other, as we see a large train, the one that I was saying that we should keep our eyes on. This is 4 or 5 drivers trying to go for it. Sack the Beast up the inside of the Haas driver, Willica. They're going to go side by side out of the exit. This is not very good, because if Willica is to get a snap up oversteer, it's going to be death, as someone retired. Virtual safety car. I don't know if that's a retirement on track. That was Alpha Tauris, yes, on the main straight. Could have been Mitch, as he is out of the session. Very unfortunate, as now we can get a chance to see what this large train is It is led by Whiffy Winner with Ron Swanson right behind him. We see Willica trying to get past Ron and Whiffy. Sack also trying to get past both of them as Willica almost hits the back of the Ferrari. He does not because he still has his wing intact. Who is also in Robin's? It is Sack, Broken, Reptile, and Entered Caesar. This is a very large battle for what could be a potential P7. The virtual safety car should be ending very shortly. We can get back to green flag racing. So we see Silk still lead Dark Ice, as these two are going to be our provisional race leaders. Both of our Renaults are doing very well for themselves on the mediums. They can stretch these and go on to the hards and have much better tires in the end. As Dark Ice speeds under VSC, gets a drive-through penalty. No, this could ruin his potential at a race win. Is he going to serve it now, or is he going to try to make up as much time as possible? No, he decides to serve it now. So our provisional leader shall now be Silk, with Titan right behind them, as Chunky has again. Now let's keep our eyes on this battle. Massive train. Ron Swanson, he has a DRS on Whiffy Winner, but he's not going to have enough time nor straightaway to try to pull off the move, as actually we see the train, it has just slightly separated a bit more than it was under VSC, as Ron Swanson is going to try to do as much as he can to fight Whiffy Winner, who they are actually on both equal compound and equal laps on tires, it looks like. There's not much that can be done into this section of the track, but we're going to keep our eyes on the drivers behind as Ron outbreaks Whiffy a little bit. He keeps it nice and tidy though, no contact made. Caesar, from the eyes of him, you can see just how much this train spans. We see all of the drivers just go through this section. Looks like they're all on rails, even though the dirty air is going to be affecting them very much. The Titan has also caught up to the back of the injured Mercedes. As you can see, he's missing an end plate on the left hand side. He's going to want to get past on this straightaway, and I believe he is going to be able to get past on the straightaway, so Titan is going to be moved up ahead of the Mercedes. Now here's a battle to watch. Whiffy is going to have to try to keep as much space between him and the cars ahead, as actually we see Caesar make a move out of the section. He was able to get more traction than the Haas driver. Whiffy is too far ahead for Ron to do anything, and the car behind is too far behind. Ooh, as we see Reptile break a lot later than Ron Swanson and Whiffy Winner, there was almost contact being made. Is there going to be any moves? As we see Dark Ice, who has served his drive-through penalty, he is behind the ER10 Motorsport, the Williams driver, who had an unfortunate race start. He's going to want to get past as soon as possible and try to get back into the race and salvage as many points as he can. I don't know if he's going to have enough space to go for it here, but he decides that he has to, because the more time he spends behind the Williams, the more time that he loses, and these tires can make it to the end as he gets ahead. Now back onto our train. Whiffy is pulling from Ron, but it is not enough to be out of the DRS range, as we see Broken Reptile, who has made up a lot of time to the Ferrari driver. He's going to also want to get past, but it's going to be made more difficult due to the fact that Ron Swanson is going to have DRS on the Red Bull driver. Here we see the drivers go through the section where dirty air hurts you the most, the middle sector. It's very complex. It is very long, sweeping corners. See, actually, there's a gap that's been formed between Sack and Caesar. As I thought I saw a spinner there. My bad. Caesar is just losing the back of Sack the Beast just a little bit. So this has now been a 4-car battle, or a 5-car battle almost. Whiffy, one more lap. As you can see, the stricken Mercedes, he's still going, trying to push the tires as far as he can without leaving the pit. It's might hurt him bit more. Ron Swanson, he has ERS, but he is not playing with it. Broken Reptile, he doesn't have quite as much ERS, but he's also not playing with it. See, into the braking zone. Is Broken Reptile going to be able to make up as much time as he looks like? Yes, he can. As you can see just how close the McLaren gets onto another DRS zone, as we see Chunky Snacks finally go into the pits. I believe he's going to go onto the hards and try to get rid of that wing damage, as it has been hurting him a lot. I don't know where he's going to come out, but he's not going to come out very far ahead indeed. Now, something to point out is that Silk isn't catching, or I believe he is catching, as Dark Eye sets the fastest lap of the race. Silk has been catching the back of the Renault pair, who is still staying out. Groggy has been able to pull a gap to his teammate Adam, and this is actually working very well in Adam's favor, who is second in the championship, so he needs this race to keep going as well as it is, although I don't know where he's going to come out after he pits. So we see the train go once again through the very, not tight, twisty. It is not tight and twisty, it is long and sweeping middle sector. no one can make a move here. As Fada, do you have any updates that you would like to make really quickly? According to Mr. Mathematician Fada Cheese, as we see a bit of a wiggle from Broken Reptile, if both Renault drivers were to pit now, they would come out around P8, P9, basically around where the tail end of this large train is taking place, and they would have the freshest tires in the field. So it would be very beneficial toward them. This strategy, this alternate strategy, could definitely work in their favor. Both Renaults are going to be able to make up a lot of points if they play it well. A safety car, I believe, could also help their chances of even more points. Actually, I believe that this train is starting to catch the back of Mr. Titan, who has lost the back of Silk just a bit, as Silk is still going strong. He has caught the Renault pairing even more this lap. I believe it was down almost by a second. Now the Renault pairing, Adam is actually losing the back of Groggy just a bit. Looks like Groggy might retain his GOAT status, unless Fada says otherwise. Thank you, Fada. Very cool. As we see Broken Reptile, he is really close to the back. Well, not really close, but he's close enough to the back of the Ferrari driver that he is going to get affected by the dirty air. And actually, speaking of the Ferrari, he is catching to the back of Whiffy. I believe they're all somewhat between equal distance, and none of these drivers have penalties. Only 2 drivers on the field that are sporting penalties at this moment in time. Yeah, so thank you, Fada, for pointing it out. Speaking of time penalties, if Adam were to pit his time penalty, even though he's going to be able to make up a lot of time with the fresher tires, it's not going to help the fact that he might come out behind this train. And as they have proven so far, it's pretty difficult to get past. Willica looks like he was really trying to get ahead of Entered Caesar. He's not going to be able to do much. So we see Chunky get past. I thought that he got past the driver, but that's just the ghost car of Oxygen. As Adam decides to pit this lap, let's see where he comes out. We're going to keep our eyes on him. I don't think... Oh, as Adam actually had front wing, that explains why... Oh, he did not have front wing damage, so he just changed his wing, apparently. As our mathematician, Fada, unfortunately got it wrong due to the fact that he didn't account for the front wing change, as he is confounded as to why he changed his front wing in the first place. So we see Willica and Caesar. Willica has caught the back of Entered Caesar by quite a bit. So we see the train start to split off a bit. Sack the Beast. Actually, never mind. Excuse me. Sack the Beast is on the back. Actually, no. Broken Reptile also decided to pit. That's why I found it confusing. There was a missing McLaren in the Ferrari sandwich. He decides to pit onto the hards. And I think he was actually the only driver in the train, except Willica as well. He's going to have to pit. That needed 2 pits. So now Whiffy was able to keep it ahead of just 2 drivers who are hounding him down now, so this might relieve a bit of pressure on Whiffy. See, once again onto this straight. It looks like Ron Swanson has not been able to do much these past couple of laps, and I don't think he's going to be able to do anything once again. Now let's keep our eyes on Groggy. Is he going to pit this lap? No, he is not. He's going to keep going, and he is going to keep his gap to Silk. Silk trying to hound them down as quickly as possible to make up as much time to possibly even try to get a lead of, well, just to get a massive lead in general. See the 3-car battle now going into the final section, into the final corner. Another lap, they're going to continue battling. As Sack is almost out of the DRS range, he is not. Entered Caesar still being pressured by Willica, who is on old mediums. Willica does have the DRS, and actually in the back we can see Dark Ice after serving his drive-through and after being in the lead of the race. He is now in P10. He is behind Mitchie. So we see Willica and Caesar go side by side into this section. Willica's going to need as much traction as he can. Oh, and Caesar spun. There's contact. There's 2 spinners. I have caught that. Yes, Fada. You're shouting. I did not catch you. Unfortunately, as Willica reset the track. Very, very naughty by Willica. And this has hurt Willica more now because he is missing a large portion of his wing. So we see Entered Caesar's teammate, ER10. He is right behind Willica. Now, I want to keep my eyes on if they're going to be able to get past Willica cleanly. Willica, you can see just how badly the wing damage is affecting him. Willica trying to leave the space. Either that or he is understeering. Adam is going to try to get past. He's not going to be able to get past Willica. He might be able to have the traction. Yes, he will. I would say that was a very impressive move, but due to how much wing Willica is missing, it is not. So Caesar with a bit of, or not a bit of, it is a large spin out of the section. As Groggy is in the pits, let's see where he's going to come out. Our mathematician is saying that he's going to be in P7. He believes that he is correct, and if he is not, then I'm going to be very sad because he lied to me. Let's keep our eyes, actually, let's go to P7 to Michi. He should be coming out ahead of Michi. Let's keep our eyes on him as Adam and ER10 are having a battle of their own. Groggy, he is coming out of the pits. I believe that our mathematician got his calculations correct. Let's see. Yes, he did. So now Groggy is going to have the freshest tires in the field. He should be the fastest car on track. He is in P6. He's going to want to chase down the cars ahead of him, the Ferrari duo, Wiffy, Titan, and Silk. I don't think he's going to be able to challenge for a win, just due to the fact that Silk's is gone at this point. But he's going to be able to make up a lot of positions. Feta is pointing out if Groggy plays his hand properly, his fresh new tires could possibly even lead him to a podium position. As we see the three-way battle, this is what ultimately it is going for. Groggy is going to join them soon, because I am not AWS and cannot predict the lap of action, but he is definitely going to be catching. And Feta's pointing out that Groggy would be able to get his first points of the season if he keeps going the way that he is going. We see once again the three-way battle for the podium lead going for yet another lap. They have been going, it used to be a four-way battle with Broken Reptile, but he has since pitted. As we see, it is now a different Haas driver chasing down the back of another Williams driver. Actually, it's both of the other teammates. They're going to be involved in a battle themselves. Actually, as I say that, ER10 pits. Thank you, ER10. I appreciate it. Not just kidding, as I believe the Ferraris have swapped positions. So they Ron deciding that he should give Sack a chance to go after Wiffy. Sack wanted to go for a win at this track. He started in P3. If he plays it well, he could end in P3, although we never know with Groggy catching as much as he is. Yeah, Ron already catching onto the back of him. Sack is going to need to have a lot of pace, or else this is going to be basically the actual Ferrari strategy, where I believe they swapped Vettel and Leclerc, even though Leclerc was quicker. Although I am 99% sure I am wrong about that. I could be. Ron Swanson does not have much ERS as Sack the Beast. I think Zach might just go for a move, yeah. Or Ron's going to go for a move. Sack deciding that he did not have the pace to chase down Wiffy Winner. He was holding back his teammate, so Ron's going to get another move at him. However, this swapping back and forth has cost him time, as both drivers are now out of the DRS. Dark Ice making up positions as he gets past Michi. Dark Ice was set for a victory here. He was going to build off of a strong pole position, but unfortunately he got a drive-through penalty under a virtual safety car. Now back to the driver to keep your eyes on. Groggy Oregano, aka Groggy the Goat by Feta Cheese, as he is earning his GOAT status once again. Thank you, Feta. Although I don't think he is quite as GOAT as Silk. He has been leading the pack since Dark Ice decided that, well, since Dark Ice chose to go on his drive-through. Titan could possibly be gaining. I am not sure, as Ron Swanson is now in the DRS. At this moment, he is back in the DRS of the Red Bull driver ahead. Willica sets the fastest lap, so he is now on the freshest tires. However, he is in P15. Groggy, can he see the drivers ahead? Yes, he can. He can see the Ferrari duo. He can see the This is going to be motivation for the Renault driver to push as hard as he can, take those hards to their absolute limit, and try to get within their DRS range and hopefully pass them as soon as he can. As Error has left the session, he retired. I forgot one lap because my memory does not serve me very well. Lap 3, Feta with the biggest brain memory that I have, or at least compared to me. Oh, never mind. As we see, the three-way battle. Thank you for insulting me, Feta. I appreciate it. As we see the three-way battle once again. Yeah, as Feta is noting that they have very little ERS. All three of them are playing with their button. Whiffy has to have played with his button the most because he has to keep in the lead. He has to keep ahead of these drivers if he wants to maintain his podium spot. And actually, Groggy isn't catching quite as quickly as he should. I think he has lost just a bit of time to Sack the Beast ahead. I don't know how well he's liking his hard tires. So we see BHRO Adam and entered Caesar. There's been a swap. And yeah, Adam, who is P2 in the standings, he is now up to P9. I believe this is 2 points if I know my F1 system well, which I actually don't. Yeah, as Feta is noticing that Whiffy is coping extremely well with the amount of pressure that he is being dealt. The Ferrari pair, according to Feta, have been making quite a lot of mistakes. They haven't been able to capitalize on the advantage that they should have, which is called DRS, especially due to the fact that this is one of, if not, actually I'm not sure if it's the longest straight, but it's definitely a very long straight. Ron Swanson is 3/10. He's right there. He's on the gearbox of the Red Bull driver. Looks like he has the pace. He can get past. His teammate Sack the Beast dropping off just a bit, but he's still there in the battle. He can still see them both. Ron Swanson, is he going to go around the outside of the Red Bull driver? Ooh, a little bit of understeer from Whiffy. This is going to be the battle to watch for the podium. They're still going side by side. A little bit of contact from both of them. Feta is screaming in absolute terror for what could go wrong here. Ron Swanson playing it nicely with the throttle. Doesn't want to spin out. He makes it work. Is Whiffy going to go for a move back? He might go. He's looking around the outside. Is he going to pull? Valtteri Bottas, I believe it's 2018. I'm pretty sure I also got that wrong. Still going side by side. Whiffy is not going to be able to make a move. Ron Swanson is able to get ahead. He looks like he's missing a bit. Oh, there is a spinner. I believe that is ER10 who has spun. He is not out. He has spun. Oh, it's Caesar. Caesar, unfortunate for him, he has spun out once again in the same corner, same spot. You can see the Renault driver of Groggy Oregano on the fresh hards. Actually, Dark Ice is our next driver to get a time penalty. I was going to mention the fact that he was right there. Groggy is catching. He has caught up to the back of cars just a little bit. He is still not able to get past the... actually, no, he was able to get past the 3-second mark. As now Ron is going to have to be the one to cope with the pressure dealt by Whiffy. Winner Whiffy is not going to be able to be close enough. They do not have any ERS to play with. Sack the Beast braking late. Ooh, braking too late. Is this wing damage? I believe I saw a missing end plate. Yes, it is. It is a missing end plate for Sack the Beast. Sack the Beast looks like he just broke a bit too late. Far too late. He goes into the pits. He decides that he needs to get the wing damage fixed. He could go on to a set of soft, as now Feta is excited to see his favorite driver, Groggy the Goat, make up his positions. Actually, excuse me. His favorite driver is Silkweaver, who is the GOATest. Actually, I don't even know the phrase. Yeah, unfortunately for Groggy, he lost his GOAT status last round out at Vietnam. Silk stole it from him. Now we see Sack the Beast drop a lot of positions. He's now out of the points. He's going to be behind Chunky Snags. He might even be behind Entered Caesar. I can't confirm or deny. Feta, can you take a look at it? Actually, he is going to be behind Entered Caesar. Sack is on mediums. I'm surprised he didn't go into a set of softs. Feta brings up a very valid point indeed. Maybe he used all of his set of softs in qualifying. If you try to take a used set of softs to the end here, they're going to be absolutely dead. You do not want to drive those. So now Groggy, actually, I don't know if he's made up time because Ron's made a mistake. He's not been able to cope with the amount of pressure that Whiffy had been able to for so many laps. As we see Whiffy on the overtake button, he's going to want to get past, and I think he is going to be able to get past Let's watch on board from Ron Swanson. Looking behind us, is he going to be able to defend from Whiffy? When he defends pretty lately, he's going to be in the inside. He's going to be able to make him go the long way around. No, Ron Swanson makes him brake later. He takes the better line. Whiffy is off the track. He's not going to be able to get the traction that he needs to pass the Ferrari driver. Ron Swanson, he put that absolutely in a beautiful place so that he could have Whiffy go. I'm not sure if it was intentional or not, but he put it such in a position that if Whiffy went wide, he was going to have the traction that he needed. As you see Whiffy make up so much speed due to the DRS. Sack the Beast is now ahead of Entered Caesar because he is on the fresh medium. So Caesar should not fight this back. This Sack is pretty pacey right now. He should be the paciest car on track. Paciest, yes, it is grammar, Fada. You see 0.7 tenths as now. Who is this? Willica and ER10. Ooh, they're going side by side into the hairpin. ER10 squeezing the Haas driver into a place where he can't get any grip. Even though they're fighting for P14, they're still fighting with all their might. I don't think Willica's going to have enough time to make up. Here, he could go around the outside if he wants. He is on the faster compound. He brakes a bit later. He looks like he wants to go around the outside, but he is not able to. We see we should go back to Whiffy. He's going to have the DRS once again on the Ferrari driver. Groggy not making up the time that he should. He is now once again in the 3-second range. He should have been pacier, but I don't think that he is liking the feel of the hard compound tires. Whiffy has the DRS on the Ferrari driver, but he is way too far back to be able to think of anything. Actually, if we look at this, the racing point, there's been a death. He took a very, very wide line. I thought that there was going to be a safety car. It would have been beautiful to see, but no, he just took a very wide line out of the snail section. Probably decided that he didn't want to spin, so he might as well just risk it and go wide. And I don't think Whiffy's going to be able to go for another move here. He's too far back. Something to note, Dark-Ice is now in the DRS zone of Groggy. Even though Dark-Ice has the older tires by quite a lot, as Mitchie is off once again. Yeah, Mitchie's struggling hard as Ronnie gets a time penalty. He looks like he ran wide. Now Broken Reptile with the other McLaren of Titan right there. Yeah, Dark-Ice is just catching very quickly. As we have Willica and ER10 once again battling, as Willica is able to get past. Willica's not going to squeeze the William driver anymore than he did to the Haas. Anyways, if I would love to finish my sentence without there being any action, but of course I have to catch the action because that's what you guys are here to watch. As we see Caesar decides to pit for the softs and go for just absolutely blistering pace, even though he's the last driver on track. Oxygen did leave. I believe that is Caesar. Someone spun, looks like, in the first sector. Yeah, Dark-Ice is now 5 tenths away from Groggy. Groggy not making the strategy work as well as you would expect. He is on much fresher tires compared to Dark-Ice, but Dark-Ice has had the pace to put it on pole now to make up as many positions as he can. Although you have to consider Dark-Ice has a 3-second time penalty, Groggy does not. So even if he gets past, unless he's able to be completely blisteringly quickly, or quick, excuse me, he is not gonna be able to make up the time. As Whiffy gets a time penalty, he runs wide in the corner, and this could be his hopes at a podium position. This could be gone. Dark-Ice is catching very quickly to the back of the Renault driver. Is he going to try to go around the outside? No, he is not. We see Chunky and Ronnie going dueling. I can't catch the action, so I'm trying to see if Dark-Ice is going to try to get the superior grip, which he should not have considering that Groggy's tires are much fresher. He is not going to be able to. You see Sack, well, actually Ronnie, who decides to go into pits. Sack the Beast on the medium tire, sets the fastest lap. Is Caesar going to be able to compete? We're going to have to wait and watch. Silk is still our leader, almost 6 seconds ahead of P2. Silk has just been able to make the gap. He's been able to push it, and he's been able to do a lot more than just maintain it. So now they're catching. The Ferrari driver is catching the back of the ghosted Red Bull. This could actually give him DRS, as we see Ronnie go into the pits. I was about to scroll down, see what is happening. Ronnie could get the DRS off of the other Red Bull driver. It's going to work against the favor of Whiffy. He has, you see a little bit of a slide from the Ferrari. He is going to get the DRS. He has to keep it nice and tidy. Whiffy might get a better run through here. Is he going to? No, he is not. See Ron Swanson using his ERS. He's going to have the DRS. Yes, he is. Oh, Whiffy's closing even with the DRS. Whiffy might be able to get past as they're going quote-unquote 3 wide, even though it's a ghost car. They both brake relatively evenly. Whiffy brakes a bit later. Ron Swanson holds it around the outside. A little bit of contact. Ooh, bit of a squeeze. Ooh, Ron Swanson going side by side. They're going side by side. This is crazy, guys. Ooh, Ron decides to back out of it. Makes the respectable choice. Decides it's not worth it to kill himself and the car ahead as I'm trying to swap to Ron Swanson to get him with the DRS. He's going to go around the outside. It's Dark Ice and Groggy. They're still going side by side. Oh, I think Whiffy's going to be able to keep it ahead. Now we'll turn quickly. Never mind. Dark Ice is already past Groggy. Ron Swanson is going to get the traction that he needs. Ooh, a little bit of contact. Almost interlocked the wheels. Could have been very deadly there. Decides not to. Sack the Beast once again sets the fastest lap of the race on the medium tires. And now we see Dark Ice. He's pulling the gap that Groggy should have. He's going to be able to make it up in 4 laps. Going to have to wait and see. So Fada, you can resume. I'm sorry for cutting you off. Yeah, as Fada's noting, we could have a 4-way fight for 3rd place as Enter Caesar now sets the fastest lap on soft tires. The soft tires are superior, except for the fact that they die relatively quickly. They are the best tire ever made. Don't at me. Anyways, this could be a potential 3-4-way fight for P3. However, do have to realize that the 2 people, as Adam gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, the 2 people that are going to be benefiting the most out of a 4-way fight for a podium are going to have to be Ron and Groggy, as both of them still do not have a penalty, whereas Whiffy and Dark Ice both have a 3-second time penalty. Actually, speaking of penalties, we probably should check it out. What penalties do they have? Yes, they have 3-second time penalties as Ron. It's a little bit tail happy there, keeps it in check. See who is this? Chunky and Sack the Beast. It's a 3-way battle back here as Ron Swanson now gets a 3-second time penalty, and there goes the point that I made. Ron Swanson is gonna have to fight for his position on track. He's not gonna be able to rely on penalties. Sack the Beast going around the outside of Chunky. He's gonna have the superior tires. He's gonna be able to make it work. He's gonna be ahead into the final corner. A little bit of a lockup, but it's alright because he's ahead. Chunky is going to try to fight it back. He does not have enough ERS, I believe, to do so. No, he does not. Now we see Ron Swanson and Whiffy Winner. These guys have been very close to each other, and Sack should have been there, but I believe he got wing damage. I can't recall. I mentioned it already. Caesar gets overtaken by his teammate, actually. Very odd. I believe they're fighting, so we should probably go check it out. They're going side by side. The Williams drivers actually went side by side through the final corner. ER10 has the DRS. He's fighting his teammate even though he's in the superior tires. Should be on the faster tires. Can Caesar hold it around the outside? That's the wrong driver. They're still going side by side. Caesar providing us with the show. ER10 keeps the lead coming into this section. Oh, but he goes wide. Caesar could easily have the grip here, but he has spun. He has struggled on the traction on exit. They're still going side by side. These Williams drivers are providing us great action. Side by side into the braking zone. It looked like they were perfectly dead even. Side by side on the exit. Are they going to go side by side through the most long sweeping corners? Ooh, a little bit of contact. It looked like ER10. Oh, he looks like he was about to spin. He was able to catch it. This is why you don't go side by side through that long sweeping corner. One of you, or actually both of you, should suffer from a lot of understeer. Yeah, Mitchie is off the track as I was trying to get back to the top. See, who do we have here? Whiffy Winner is still ahead of Ron Swanson, who is ahead of Dark Ice, who has made up the position. But look at this, Groggy, aka Groggy the Goat. He is now right behind Dark Ice. He is being pulled by Dark Ice as we see. I think that's ER10 have a spin out of the section. This is going to be the battle to watch right here. Whoever wins this battle is going to be on for a podium, a very well-deserved podium, as Mitchie retires in the pits. Yeah. Unfortunate for Mitchie, he's been struggling a lot with the rear end. Yeah, as Fada is pointing out that Dark Ice has been able to recover very well after his drive-through penalty. I said when he wasn't going to be in contention for a race win. He's still not going to be able to, but he's going to be able to possibly recover into a potential P3, as now we see Whiffy Winner. He has to hold back not only the Ferrari of Ron, who has provided pressure by himself. He's going to have to fend off the very pacey Dark Ice, our pole sitter, and who was in the lead of the race for a long time. Groggy is being carried along by Dark Ice. You can see he has his DRS open. He's just been able to enjoy free DRS off of Dark Ice as he locks up and breaks pretty late. These drivers are all very close now. We're gonna see them go on for the final lap. Who's gonna make a move? Enter Caesar gets a penalty. on second to last lap. This is going to be the battle to watch. A four-way fight. A four-way fight for a podium position. If everything goes well, Groggy should take the position, but let's see when, or let's see who actually is going to come out on top on track. Whiffy currently leads the pack, being chased down by Ron Swanson, who's being chased down by Dark Ice. Dark Ice is very close to the back of the Ferrari. If he wants to get past, he's going to have to make a dive. It looks like also Dark Ice is the one with the most ERS. I do believe, yes, he is. Dark Ice, I'm going to go on board with him for the final lap until Silk goes near. Beta is in confusion. Dark Ice got a penalty by exceeding track limits. I have no idea. You expect me to remember that, Beta? I am ashamed. So now we see them go on to the DRS stage for one final time. Whiffy leads the pack, leads the four-way or the four-car train onto final straight. So I believe I'm gonna have to switch to our race leader before we see anything that happens. As we see, oh, it's one more lap. Fada, you lied to me. Fada, you lied to me. Fada. So I have been lied to by Fada. Fada has betrayed me. It is 100% Fada's fault. I can confirm. So now, never mind. We see them go on for another lap. No one was able to make a move. Now we are on the final lap. Now the pressure is on. Who's gonna make a move? Dark Eye is very close behind the Ferrari driver. Groggy just watching this battle unfold, and he's hoping that things stay the way they are. Because if they do, he's going to be benefiting the most. Ron gets a pretty good run into the section. Look at Dark Ice, he's gaining, but he's not going to be able to make a move. Groggy's now on the back of the Racing Point. Oh, these guys are all very close. Groggy and Ron are basically looking at the gearboxes of the cars ahead. Fada is very excited at the chances that Groggy has. His GOAT status might even come back. I'm going to have to ask Fada later to see if that's the case. Oh, as Dark Ice gets a bit of a wiggle, Groggy, is he going to go for it? He shouldn't go for it. This is a very difficult area to go for side by side. He could have gone for it, but he decides not to because he is a reasonable man. He could go around the outside here. No, he is not. Groggy is watching the battle unfold. Ron Swanson on the back of the Red Bull driver. He wants to get as close as possible. He wants to get the best exit out of the snow section. Can he get it done? We're going to have to find out. Whiffy, he has held off the pressure of both of the Ferraris and the McLaren at one point, and now he has to hold off the pressure for the final time on the straight. And as I was saying last time, I think I'm going to have to switch to our race leader, who has basically dominated from left and right. Fada, just start shouting if anything happens. As we see Silk come across the line. Fada is shouting absolute, well, relief. Ooh, they're going side by side. Dark Ice and Ron. Dark Ice is going to be able to get him. He's going to get a better run. There's a bit of contact. Groggy, is he going to hold it side by side? No, he is not. He decides that it's not the place to move. Because if he did it, if he has done it, he has done it. Both of the GOATs have done it. Or Groggy is the podium. There's a final podium sitter. Silk. Yeah, Fada is absolutely shouting. He is well, he's emotional. I don't know if he's crying or not. I can't confirm. He could be crying. I can't say for certain. As we see Silkweaver, our race winner. What a drive from him. He dominated after the mistakes of Dark Ice after he got a drive through from VSC. You see Mr. Titan, very quiet race for him. He didn't do many overtakes. He just kept it nice and quiet, nice and clean, even though he got a penalty. Didn't get involved in anything. And Groggy, who I believe has 100% regained his GOAT status. He finishes in P3 after witnessing an amazing battle for the podium. He was able to benefit due to the fact that he had no penalties. And Fada is in absolute awe as to how many positions he gained. Groggy, who I believe started in P14 or actually no, he started in P15 or 16. Yeah, P16, he was able to make up 14 positions to go on to P3. Very good race by Groggy, well-deserved driver of the day. I can't argue with that one. What a race. Fada is asking about interviews, so as unfortunately apparently it's a glitch with my connection or something. Twitch. that I can't host podiums. So I feel like I owe it to these drivers to do race podiums. I want them to be able to express their feelings, even though I might not be able to portray them as well as they are themselves. So Fada, could you please invite him? Fada, invite him. Here is our finishing position. Silk, who is now, or I'm not sure if he's the first or second go to Fada. That's gonna be for him to decide. I'm gonna stop putting words in his mouth. Silk gets first place. Titan gets second place. Very strong showing for the McLaren driver. Groggy gets third place after a very good drive from him, starting in P16. Wiffy Winner, who was able to hold back Ron and Dark Ice for long enough. He's finishing in fourth due to the time penalty. Dark Ice with a very great recovery. He's in P5. He was set for a race win, but that is very good indeed. Ron, the Ferrari driver, he was stuck in a battle for a long time and he was able to do very well. Broken Reptile, the second McLaren, is in P7. Sack the Beast in P8. Jackie Snags in P9 and Adam in P10, who was second in the championships. My bad. He is in P10. I don't think he's going to be able to make much points. And outside of the top 10, we have Ronnie, Caesar, Willica, ER10, Oxygen, who I still have no idea who he is. And the three retirees of the race, we have Mitchie, Mitch, and Air. So this was a very, very bad weekend for AlphaTauri. They scored no points. Both drivers retired. Yeah. So we have our podium sitters in the party. Now I am going to have to tell you guys there is something wrong with my Twitch where I can't include party audio, so I decided that it would be nice for you guys to just be in a podium interview, even though our audience isn't going to be able to hear it, and I'm going to try to portray your guys' interviews as best to my abilities, which is very, well, I don't have many abilities, so I'm just going to do a quick recap. No, I'm not going to blame Mitchie. It is in fact Fada's fault. It has always been. As now we go on to, actually Fada, you want to ask the questions? Even though I know that our audience can't hear us, and unfortunately for you guys it is going to be very quiet a little bit, but you know, it's unfortunate. Oh yeah. Okay, so Fada is absolutely delighted to see his favorite driver on the grid. I don't actually, never mind, I'm not sure. He is excited to see Groggy on a podium. That's gonna be my recap. I think it's nice and simple like that. Okay, Fada is insisting that I also convey that how he asked how is Groggy feeling. So Groggy, without any further delay, you can talk. Yeah, Groggy. Very well deserved emotions, very excited, very happy. I am not gonna convey the teen rated language. It is just happiness, that's all we need to know. Very well driven Groggy. That was a very nice drive from P16. Yeah. Alright, so on to our second. I did say that he's happy, Fada, stop shouting at me. Okay, I don't have emotions. Fada is taking advantage of the fact that he can't be heard on stream. Stop shouting at me, Fada. Thank you. And on to our second place driver. Fada, you wanna lead again? Yeah, so Feta, I'm sorry, but I wasn't paying attention to what question he asked. Titan, he is very happy with his finish P2. I believe this is your second P2, or did Broken get P2 in Vietnam? Yeah, this is your second P2. Yeah, so this is your second P2, and Titan, he's very hopeful for his constructors. Broken Reptile, unfortunate for him. I believe that he got wing damage and he had to pit early. And yeah, McLaren are showing very strongly for the Tier 4 Constructors Championship. Yeah, Titan also very excited. I'm sorry that I can't convey emotions. I lost my feelings of emotions a long time ago, 100%. They were ripped out of me. Uh, all of the trash cans hurt me, Titan. All of them. And now on to our race winner, who, well, he just drove the best of his ability, and, well, it's not much else to say. Feta, you wanna? Alright, so Feta is very happy to see Silk be once again in first place. It looks like he's actually living up to the Mercedes domination that we have come to expect in real life. And yeah, Feta decides to ask the question if Silk is bored of his dominance, because to be frank, he has dominated for quite a long time now. 3 race wins in a row. Yeah. So to recap very shortly, this was a battle between Silk and Dark Ice, but unfortunately Dark Ice got a drive-through penalty, and Silk did note that he's yet to get a pole position, but I think with the way that you're going, I don't think you need a pole position to be more dominant than you already are. And yeah, very solid race from you, Silk. Yeah, Titan had a very nice view of the battle. Yeah, very good racing from all of our drivers in Tier 4. Make sure to tune in next week once again for the great action that Tier 4 is able to provide. Hopefully by then, if I'm the lead commentator, I can get this weird party glitch removed so we can hear the beautiful voice of Feta and the podium interviews. Okay, Titan brings up an amazing point. This is all Feta's fault. I can agree. And yeah, so next week, same time that you guys were on today, we can see Tier 4. And if you tune in earlier, you can see my co-commentator Feta Cheese Tier 3, who did win his race in China. You know, you should probably check that out. It's very good racing. And then tomorrow is going to be Tier 2 and Tier 1 going around China. I usually race in Tier 2, but I think I'm not going to be able to show up next week. So make sure to tune in the better drivers to see how they do around China. And then Tier 1, our premier tier, is going to race around China as well. So we're going to be able to see what the best of the best can do. And I think that's anything for everyone. Anything anyone wants to say? Or good? Yeah, so thank you guys very much. And on behalf of Feta, who has been mute for the past